Next up, this one's fairly bold too, but not out of the realm of possibility. So I'm going to give it a 7. Here's the prediction. Will says, in fact, Will works for 24/7, so he's one of us. He says, very hot topic in the 24/7 Sports desk Slack room. I peruse it from time to time. He said, no Big 12 teams will win 10 regular season games. All right, how rare would this be? Well, 3 of them did it last year. 2 of them won 12 games last year. So Baylor won 12, Oklahoma State won 12, OU ended up winning 11 games. We go further. According to Stats and Info, we know who that is. Over the past decade, at least one double-digit winner in the conference every year, and all but 1 year, we've had at least 2 double-digit winners. So we would have to have something occur here that has not occurred in the last decade. And by the way, the last time it didn't happen was 2020, and that's when they didn't play as many games as they normally do. So yeah, this normally happens, and it normally happens more than just once. So I think this is a 7. Now you would think, looking at the chart, if you're looking on YouTube, it never even comes close to happening. Why isn't this a 9.98 or higher? Because I think the Big 12 has some real demolition derby vibes coming out of it this year. I could see a world where we have like 4 or 5 teams with 7 or 8 wins, 9 wins in the 7 to 9 win range, but we don't have a single one cracking the double-digit win mark. I could see that. Therefore, because of that reason, I'm not going to go higher than just a 7. The demolition derby vibe, do you feel that? Do a lot of you feel that about the Big 12? Do you feel like there is a solid favorite that's going to rise out amongst the rest of the pack out there? Because Baylor won the conference last year. There's a lot of overturn there. I trust Dave Aranda implicitly, but there's a lot of turnover there. That quarterback situation is kind of fascinating. I mean, Jerry Bohannon started last year, lost the job in spring. Dave Aranda let him know he lost the job. He transferred. So that's fun to watch. At Oklahoma, we know all about the turnover there. Oklahoma State, we just did a lengthy segment the other night, and yet here I am doubting they can win 10 games again. I think one of them's going to win 10 games. So I put this at a 7. I think one of them's going to win 10 games. So this is pretty bold to me. There's the Big 12 final standings from last year, by the way. As you see, 12 wins, 11 wins. Then was the drop-off to a team that I'm about to mention in a second. Next up, here's one that pains me immensely to even mention. Mike suggested that Iowa State will win 9 games, and they will reach the Big 12 title game in a rugged Big 12 season. Well, I think he was accurate in describing what will be a rugged Big 12 season. I think we can all agree Iowa State is one of the greatest things that our country has ever produced. I have solid bias here. If you want to claim it, I'll beat you to the punch. I am an Iowa State fan, love the program. However, I do not find 9 wins here. I mean, Jesse informed me earlier, aka Stats and Info, that according to Bill Connolly's returning production metrics, this is a frightening statistic. They are 128th out of 131 teams in the United States of America at the FBS level when it comes to returning production. This is not the kind of program, even under Matt Campbell, that just reloads at the 9 or 10 win level every single year. When you lose an established multi-year starter at quarterback and you lose a guy like Breece Hall and you're 128th in total returning production, you don't just, you know what this program is. I know what this program is. This is not a program where you ever walk around Ames, Iowa yelling, hey, we don't rebuild, we just reload. That's not the kind of program this is. So you can have supreme respect for the staff, which I do, and still understand it would be natural to expect a little bit of a downturn this year, record-wise. Doesn't make the program any worse of a program, but man, 9 wins this year. And if you look at the schedule now, Colin probably already put it up, but if you look at their schedule, this is tough. They play Iowa. That's the out-of-conference. They do that every year. They have to go there. They got Baylor on the 24th. It's a round-robin schedule. But listen to the order of these games. Kansas State, which I think is a Big 12 sleeper, at Texas the next week. Then they have a bye. They get Oklahoma at home on a Thursday night, which is very tantalizing. And then they got West Virginia, and then they go to Oklahoma State, and then they got Texas Tech, another sleeper team to me in the Big 12 this year. There is no rest. And this is not a cupboard so loaded that you can never afford to overlook any of these games. So that's 4 losses minimum to me. That's just the way I see the program this year. But then again, those of you who have been around a little while know how I saw the program last year. So maybe I just have a bad read on Iowa State. I would love for that to be the case at this particular time, because my read on them this year is it's going to be really hard to win 9 games. So, double-digit win season, maybe it's Iowa State that gets it done in the Big 12.